How's everybody doing? Well, if you come across this video, we know why. You ended up with one of these and you don't know what to do. And I've been seeing this on social media a lot lately, like more than normal. And I've been, following these Jeeps for years, military vehicles in general for years. The sad part of this hobby is that it tended to be an older individual's hobby, and they are sadly coming to an end, or some of them are just passing them on to kids and grandkids, and they don't know what to do with them. So I'm like, why don't I make a video about it? So here we go. Just so you know some of my background, I'm an enthusiast, I'm an Army veteran, and I also work in the automotive field in the technology IT sector. So I have a vast amount of knowledge on vehicle pricing and collectability because that's my job. So I come from this with experience of both sides. So with that being said, one thing we are seeing a lot is we are seeing these vehicles actually end up at dealer auctions because grandkid gets it, doesn't want it, doesn't know the value, doesn't care, takes it, their car, trade it in, and that's it. You're leaving money on the table. Yeah. So here are some tips that I could give you so you can get more knowledge of what you have and the potential value of that said vehicle. So the first thing is do not rush into it. Do not rush into it. Also, don't immediately start restoring it, especially if you don't have much knowledge in it. This first thing to do is to stop and assess what you have. And luckily with these vehicles, the frames are stamped, the body, in some cases the bodies were stamped, and also all these vehicles come with a tag. And here's one off my M38 A1. So has a tag with everything you need to know. From World War II up, all these had tags and serial numbers. Now, just because you have the serial number doesn't mean you're going to be able to pull the vehicle's history. Records are hit and miss. Like, for instance, this one, when it was done with the service, the records were just trashed. World War II, you can find some, and anything current that they're getting rid of, you're not going to find anything on it right now. Or for right now, maybe never. We don't know. But the first thing you do is sit back, see what you got. Try to locate identification numbers. If you don't know where to look, the information is literally all over the internet. You could also use AI. Take a picture. Hey, what vehicle do I have? And you could also ask it, do you know where the serial numbers are located? A lot of them have plates. Some are stamped on the frame. Engines as well. Most of the time, like unfortunately for this one, the engine doesn't match the vehicle serial number, which means at one point this had a bad motor and they just swapped it out. That's it, nothing more. But once you get a hold of that knowledge and you know what you have or a rough good idea, that's when you can start looking at the market. And you got to be very realistic on the condition of the vehicle. But just because it's in bad shape doesn't mean it's not worth anything. It's just rarity and market is going to drive the prices on that. World War II items will always be a little bit more value because people want World War II vehicles. That's what everybody aims for, and then it goes down the echelon until you get to Humvees, which still have a high market value, but even those are drastically coming down in price right now. Even as we speak, they're dropping the price because they keep releasing them. The appeal of them just being released to the market's gone, so they're stabilizing until what probably gonna be their normal price. I think it's going to drop a little bit more. You still have those individuals that still want the moon for them, and they're just not going to get it. Eventually, they'll drop the price and sell it. But Facebook is a great source of information for military vehicles. There's literally groups for every vehicle the military ever made. And enthusiasts, diehard loyals that literally eat, breathe, sleep them, and know all the history on them. So join them. That's why I'm making this video, because we're seeing popping in. But here's what you could do, because someone was post a picture and go, oh, what do I got? Take lots of pictures. Every angle, underneath the hood, inside the tub, which is this, inside the tub. Just every angle, high quality pictures. Put a little bit of effort to them. Approach the group, say, hey, I inherited this with this. I want to know more about it. And they'll be realistic. I will say the one thing about the military vehicle collector community, when it comes to condition, they're straight up. Straight up. And they're not trying to hurt your feelings. They're just being honest on what you have. So they'll be able to tell you how complete the vehicle is, because that matters. Because when the military is done with these, they literally just sold them off for whatever. They did not care. They're done. They got a little bit of money back. And, you know, I got a noisy neighbor. Sorry about that. So when the military's done with these, they just got rid of them. They send them off to auction. And in some cases in the military, they just sold them for whatever. Especially like in World War II, you can get these Jeeps for a couple $100. But people use them for what they were. They were work vehicles. They were used for hunting, farming, all that. And over the course of time, parts were broken, cut off, home repairs were made, all that. And all that goes into the factor how much work, because 95% of the time when someone buys one of these, they want to take it back to its original condition. So that will also factor in its pricing, because what's it going to take to get it back to that? Luckily, from like mine was pretty much, it was all original. I got very lucky finding this. But my Ford GPW has a 400-pound bumper on it that I've been cutting off in sections, and it's going to take forever just to repair that. But that also rolled into what I paid for it. The second step is, how attached are you to it? You know, grandpa or grandma's Jeep may hold a high value to you for what it is. But at the end of the day, everything has its price, and you have to be realistic. Because it's the world to you doesn't mean it's the world for anybody. Because I've seen some Jeeps that are perfectly restored right now going for $25,000, and like a dude not far from me, he's had a Jeep up, one of these, an M38A1, up for months, and he was $120,000. That's just not a realistic price. He's not going to get that for it. But once you reach out to these individuals, these groups that have vast amounts of knowledge and what realistically your vehicle is probably worth, look in your local market of what everything's going for. If you do want to sell it, considering what it is, it may be worth trying to go nationally, trying to show what you have to sell it. But most of your buyers are probably going to be local, unless you just have something that's just, insanely rare or collectible or very sought after. But then it goes into if you keep it. So if you keep it, preservation is everything until you can restore it. Keeping it indoors, dry, away from the elements. Even though these are military vehicles, they're still prone to everything. And these vehicles, were designed and thought that they're going to be sent a lot, but that doesn't make them bulletproof. Everything, they are susceptible to lot rot, just like a brand new car is. And that's just from sitting there, tires go, get flat spots on them, battery goes down, all that. So if you plan on restoring it or keeping it for a little bit, make the efforts to preserve it as much as you can as its current state. So if you do end up selling it, it's just, it hasn't deteriorated anymore. These are living pieces of history. This is literally a piece of history. And that you can drive, interact with, and it's amazing. It's an amazing hobby. But at the end of the day, if you decide to sell it, document everything you can, gather any history or paperwork you possibly can, and just be honest about its condition, because condition is everything. I would say I was a Mustang guy for a long time, still a Mustang guy. I've restored countless Mustangs. Condition matters. I would say even more so on these, because a Mustang, I can put in 65 Mustang quarter panel. Endless possibilities to where I can get a quarter panel from. But for these, they're just not the same. It's just not the same. So there's a lot to consider in this, and a lot to think about and decide which way you want to go with it. I mean, personally, if you have the space and the time, keep it around. Keep, put it in parades, put it in car shows. You don't see these. The younger generation starting to move into this hobby, which is an amazing thing. So there is a dude ripping up and down my street on a crappy motorcycle with no helmet. We probably see which way that's going to go soon, especially when someone calls and complains. But anyways, there's a lot to consider on what you want to do and what the next steps are. The biggest thing is pictures, document, and be honest about the condition. But if you want to keep it, those same groups you reached out to for information are more than willing to help you. The military vehicle community is a very helpful community. I called one last night. I've never met the guy. I called him on Facebook because I need help because I couldn't get the bumper off this and I couldn't figure out why. And we came to the solution, just give it a big old whack, and I did, and it came right off. Well, it shot off. But yeah, so put your comments down below. If you watch to the end, you know what? Next video I make, we're going to give away a hat. We're going to give away a hat. So stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, comments, concerns, put them down in the comments. Hit that like button. It really helps out. I will answer everything as I best possibly can. And you see with me, I don't even know everything. I'm not afraid to reach out to people that know more than me. So, and as always, if you are restoring one of these, go to Kaiser Willys Auto Supply, use my code LSH10 and save 10% off your order. So it's they have everything you could possibly think of and more. And they even have a shop by diagram. So if you are shopping for specific parts and don't know what it's called, you can find your model. It pulls up all the diagrams and you click on it and it just shows you right below what you need to order. Because I needed that with a bunch of washers that I could not figure out. So now I know where the washer goes and I have the correct washer. So it's a win-win. So, but that's all I got today. I felt like I needed to make this video. Thank you for watching. We are out.